Our next guest has been an ardent. We've gotten into tiffs this year. We never get into tiffs with this guest. We've gotten into tiffs about Stefanski and Dillon Gabriel. Did the Jets' loss change anything? What we're going to find out now is on the line is Odyssey NFL Insider Calls brought to you by Nationwide for your insurance and financial needs. Nationwide is on your side. The fan hotline, Ross Tucker joining us now. I hope that was acceptable, Ross.
Yeah, I don't know. You kind of faded out, got a little high at the end, but at least it was a change-up, which I respect. What's up, boys?
Not much, buddy. I was just trying to give it a little. So when I hit it hard, everybody knows. Did the Jets' loss change any of your thoughts on Gabriel and Stefanski?
Yeah, I think it kind of did. A couple things. I guess the Gabriel thing, I thought he played okay. The thing that's most frustrating and disappointing is when, I think he did it twice. When you're taking sacks on fourth down, you kind of lose me as a quarterback. I mean, it's fourth down. You know, give yourself a chance. Give your team a chance. 4th and 1, I don't care if you throw the ball downfield. You know, to take sacks in that situation, I thought was disappointing because, I mean, listen, I don't know what happens on the couple throws that, like, come out of his hand weird, hit the ground. Like, I don't even know. I don't have an explanation for that. But other than that, I thought he played okay. That was the part that bothered me the most. And when you combine that, you know, the taking sacks on fourth down with Devin Bush getting a defensive holding penalty on, what, I don't know, 3rd and 14 maybe. I mean, I don't really think the Jets were even going to throw the ball unless it was wide open. I think they told Fields, unless it's wide open, then you just run it. Yet the Browns give him an automatic first down. And then the Cam Thomas offside. That's the part that I think would be most disappointing is they really came across as a poorly coached team in that game. You combine 2 kick return touchdowns where I don't think either guy was touched. I mean, touched. So that's, you know, you got something going on there from a special teams coaching standpoint if nobody's touched. Offensively, you know, 3rd and 5 or whatever it is, and you're calling a 2-yard shallow cross, throwing the ball, you're getting sacked on 4th down. And then those defensive penalties I already referenced. I feel differently after this game. This was not just a loss to a good team, or this was a game where, you know, there's always momentum one direction or the other. This was a game where the momentum certainly goes the wrong way for a guy like Kevin Stefanski.
So differently to the point that you would make a change at the end of the season, or you would still just run it with Stefanski, or you got more games and you got to see how those go as well?
Yeah, the least of those. I mean, the last of those, I should say, Jonathan. See how it goes the rest of the year. I wouldn't make a change right now at head coach. I don't really know what purpose that serves. I would go with Stefanski the rest of the year. I think he's kind of earned that, and give him a chance to show improvement. Give him a chance to dig his way out, and if he doesn't and they can't, then I think if you're ownership, you have a real decision to make, or maybe not. I don't know, but yeah, you know, they knew it wasn't going to be a good team this year. They knew they weren't going to the playoffs, but there has to be progress, and you have to feel like your coach is getting the most out of the talent that you do have. And I think that's hard to say. I think that's hard to say right now. And they objectively came across on Sunday as a poorly coached team.
So with that, Ross, how important is this Ravens game then? Like, do we need immediate proof that Jets loss didn't break the spirit of that locker room this weekend?
That's actually a really good question. Because if they come out and lay a total egg against the Ravens, then that says something too. about the coaching staff. I also am curious. I don't know what the weather is supposed to be like, but I almost am curious to just see the fans. I mean, you guys have been so loyal, so diehard, so passionate, which is why I think if you Google it, I've always said the Browns are a top 5 fan base. And I think you can make a very strong argument for number 1, given the return on investment or lack thereof that Browns fans have received for their passion. It's almost like those years where you went without a team made you so appreciative of having a team that you are going to stick with them through thick and thin. Because it's not like that in other cities. In other cities, there a lot of them, when the team starts to be this bad, they just stop showing up. And there's apathy. And when there's apathy, that's when changes are made. Cleveland, you guys, it feels like you never really get to the apathy stage because it means so much to you because you know what you lost at one point.
Yeah, and it feels like, though, Ross, sometimes the team takes advantage of that. You know, that just the idea that Browns fans will just be there and they'll always be there to the point where, like our conversations this week is baited around the idea of whether or not Deshaun Watson is going to see the field this year. In most organizations, Deshaun Watson wouldn't have a chance. But with this one, you're like, well, maybe they would put him out there before they put out Shedeur.
That would shock me. I mean, they've moved on. I saw a quote from D. Podesta where he said, he was asked, I don't know if he was getting interviewed by the Rockies media or whatever, but he said, you know, we all own that about Watson. Like, we all own that mistake. They're not putting him back out. I mean, that would really surprise me. I don't think he has any value, but if he had any value or if they could do anything with him, and I know he's got the no trade and the whole deal, but getting him injured worse doesn't make any sense. I don't think he'll be out there. I do think Shedeur will be out there. I don't know when that will be. You know, at this point, I feel pretty good that Gabriel probably not project to be an NFL starter. I think if you're playing Gabriel now, it's probably more about whether or not you feel good that he can be a number 2. You know, is he a number 3? Is he a number 2? Is he a guy that's not in the league? I don't think you can watch him and feel like, hey, this is our long-term starter. Does that mean he can't someday be a starter? No. Or he can't be like a low-end starter, high-end backup? I think that's a possibility. But I think it's pretty clear he's probably not the long-term answer here. And they probably had that idea, but they wanted to give it a shot. So now, when you're playing him, it's A, because you probably still believe he gives you the best chance to win, and B, because you want to definitively know what he is. You know, in other words, if they're going to get somebody in the draft this upcoming year, is Gabriel your number 2? Is he good enough to be your number 2? I mean, you have him under contract the next 3 years, not for much money. Has he shown enough that you feel good that he's even the number 2, or do you need to bring in a veteran?
Ross, it's interesting you talk about bringing in a veteran, because I think right now we should probably be planning on a veteran starter next year until they are in a spot for the number 1 or number 2 picks, just because we might not have 1 or 2 guys worthy of a top 2 or 3 pick. And if you're the 3rd pick, you're going to be, you know what? You're going to be screwed here. So I'm going to give you a couple names here of retreads for the Browns, and I wanted to know what you would pick for the Browns next year. Mac Jones, Kyler Murray, Geno Smith, or Tua Tagovailoa?
Well, first of all, right now the Titans would have the number 1 pick, and they're not taking a quarterback. So, if the Browns have the 3rd pick, maybe they have to trade up to number 1 if they love Mendoza or Ty Simpson or any of these guys. If they love one of those guys enough, maybe they'd have to trade up. The Titans probably want the number 1 overall pick so they can try to get a king's ransom for it. I don't know if anybody will think any of these guys is worth a king's ransom, but I would just make that point. I don't like the Tua idea in Cleveland because of the wind and how tough the weather can be November, December. So Tua is out for me. Tyler, Mac Jones. Who's the other one?
Geno Smith.
Well, listen, money matters. Financial commitment matters because I don't think any of those guys are really someone that you want to have the job for years and years. I guess out of those guys, the one that feels like he'd have the best chance to have success, a la Darnold or Mayfield, would be Mac Jones. You know, I mean, the Cardinals organization has just put so much into Kyler Murray, and it just hasn't happened. He's just so inconsistent week to week. I don't really know what's happened to Geno Smith this year. He was playing better in Seattle. And then the question is can you get out of Mac Jones what Kyle Shanahan's getting out of Mac Jones? Which is, I mean, even though they lost on Sunday to the Rams, he still threw for over 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. I think my answer is Mac Jones. He also played New England for several years, so he's played in those elements. Mac Jones.
So what route would you rather go, though? And I agree with you. I think Mac Jones is the right answer here. But would you rather go Mac Jones, or would you rather go, how high do you think of these other quarterbacks that you've talked about, the Ty Simpson? I'll throw Dante Moore in the mix, even though he might actually return to Oregon, and then Mendoza.
I think that remains to be seen. These guys are going to play in a bunch of big games the rest of the year, and we're going to get more clarity about them. I will say, you know, both Mendoza and Dante Moore, because I watched both those games, Jonathan, and they came up big when they had to late. You know, I mean, they're both trailing on the road at Penn State. Dante Moore is trailing on the road at Iowa, like in the rain.
Yeah, awful weather. Yeah.
He made a beautiful throw down the sideline. That was the key play on the drive when they absolutely had to have it. Mendoza, I guess, was fortunate with a couple of the best catches I think I've ever seen, but he still did it. He still did it at Penn State. Their D-line had been getting after him, threw the ball down the seam a couple times, the sideline route to number 80, back in the end zone through Cooper. That was impressive. I've watched both those kids a couple times. You know, Mendoza, he just looks like he's kind of got it figured out. You know, he looks like a pro quarterback already. Interestingly, he does not come across to me as a guy with like wow physical traits. I think maybe kind of like in the Mac Jones category. Although he's more mobile, and he showed that he's willing to run. He just kind of, I mean, he had like an 8-yard shovel pass while he was rolling left that I thought, wow, this guy is the real deal. Like, this guy just has a knack for it.
Ross, we've got a burger bet on the show. I believe the Steelers are still going to win the AFC North. My partner believes the Ravens are going to win the AFC North. We put a burger on it. Who do you think, in the end, ends up to be eating a burger here on the other's dime?
Ross, I got turned off by Rodgers on Sunday night. Big way.
I editorialized it.
Had to.
Oh, no. I mean, I think Ravens. Yeah. I feel strongly about the Ravens. I mean, the Steelers only beat teams when the other team turns it over like 5 or 6 times, like the Patriots or the Colts. The Ravens are the better team. I think the Ravens will show that. Steelers missed some opportunities to create some distance. You know who really missed opportunities is the Bengals. The Bengals lose at home to the Bears where they're up late, the Jets where they're up late. Although if the Bengals defense could get one stop, then they would be tied for first place with the Steelers with Joe Burrow about to come back. But even if they just won one of those games, they'd be 4-5 like the Ravens. But as it is, they blew it.
What if I told you I'm undefeated in burger bets at this station?
He's very good at burger bets.
Like I'm like the the Vince Lombardi of burger bets.
You know what's interesting about that is that maybe, now listen, not trying to be offensive, but maybe the good Lord is looking down and thinking, you know what? Wait a minute. How's the bet go? If the Steelers win the division, then Jonathan has to buy you a burger?
Yes, sir. Yeah. And then the other way around, too. If the Ravens win the division, now he has to buy me a burger.
Okay, yeah, forget what I was going to say.
Oh, I thought you were going to go down the route of, like, this is God saving you from eating another cheeserburger. That's what I thought you were going to do.
Except God hasn't done that yet.
You didn't take that route.
He's not stepped in.
Was,
Maybe he wants to meet me quicker.
I was going to go there until I forgot it was flipped the other way, and that God just keeps stuffing burgers down Nick's face.
I think God just wants to meet me quicker. He's like, this guy's a good hang. Let's get Wilson up to the pearly gates as quick as possible. Ross, great stuff, buddy. We appreciate you.
Thanks, Ross.
Later, dude.
Later, dudes. Ross Tucker. That was Odyssey NFL insider Ross Tucker.